If you're a young person and you're watching this, you must consider doing school at home or online. I truly believe it can genuinely change your life and get you on track to doing the things and achieving the things you want to achieve. School, as it is today, is problematic, and I want to talk about it. My first year of high school, 3 years ago now, was awesome. It was fresh, it was new, it was fun, it was exciting. I met new people, I hung out with new people, and at the time, it was great for me. Part of the reason it was so good and nice and I have so many good memories from it was because that was 2021. And we had been doing school online for months now because of COVID, and they had just allowed us students to go back in person if we choose to. You could go back, but you had to wear a mask and social distance and everything. There weren't many people. My school has around 25 kids per class. In 2021, there were like 4 to 0 kids in that class because everyone was at home or they were too afraid to come back. But I didn't care. I was pretty sick myself. I was tired of being home in lockdown. I wanted to socialize and meet new people and have a routine like I used to. So I decided to go back to school. And school was, to be completely honest, not really school at that time. Everything was online, which meant my teacher was right there in front of me, but I was watching her through a Zoom screen in my laptop because she had to teach the online class and my class at the same time. So it was better if we all just watched Zoom. I cheated on probably every test and homework assignment that year, as did everyone else during that year. And my school day consisted of bathroom breaks where I'd meet up with my friends. I'd skip lunch for 2 hours to hang out with my friends that were there, constantly texting my friends, just very friendship-wise. It was just like a hangout. It was great. It was pretty awesome, and naturally, good things cannot last forever, and the world had to move on, and so did I, to the real high school experience. I kind of believe now that movies and TV had been lying to us since we were little kids. In middle school, grades didn't matter, so you didn't have to take it so serious, and you really could just learn about yourself and, get ready for high school when stuff really did matter. The media that we all watched told us that high school would be like a movie. If you're a guy, you'd be the star quarterback on the football team, and if you're a girl, you're a cheerleader. And of course, you two would meet up, fall in love, throw rocks at each other's windows, and all that amazing stuff. You'd be in different clubs, and you'd be the most popular guy or girl in school. You'd have so many friends, but movies are movies. The parties you were so excited to go to happened maybe 4 times a year, and when you went, it really wasn't all that fun, or you were like me and didn't get invited at all. Instead, people really just hung out without you, talked shit behind your back, cyberbullied the shit out of anyone that stepped out of line, and teachers themselves bullied you, and the administration made you feel like shit for maybe how you talked or what you wore to school or how you acted. They also abused the small power that they had to anyone that was below them. So, of course, in this environment, everyone's just gonna retreat to their phones because it is 10 times easier to just escape on Instagram than it is to talk to the human being that's right next to you. You started becoming unable to focus. There was some drama in your Snapchat group chat, and you were frantically typing underneath your desk while your teacher was trying to teach because that was obviously more important at the time. And truthfully, it probably felt much more important than the zoning and droning on and on about this history lesson that you don't care about. The strive to do amazing in school that you once had turned into accepting C's and D's because you got sick of school. You got so sick of a place where you would literally spend 8 hours of your day learning things that you would pretty much never ever have to use again in your entire life. Naturally, that would make anyone feel crazy. You're sick of the place where you can't be yourself and everyone just bullies each other because there's some kind of issue with everyone here, right? This everything is what destroyed me last school year and brought me to where I am today. There were so many things I could spend those 8 hours doing that I wasn't able to because I had to go to school to learn about quadratic functions. I wanted to ride my bike places. I wanted to do yoga. I wanted to lift weights. I wanted to play my instruments, but I couldn't, and it drove me and still drives me crazy. School made me wake up at 7, and it forced me to not get home until around 3. That's 8 hours of my day when I could have been improving myself, frolicking, existing, watching anything in this world that was thrown out the window because of a system that was made 200 years ago, and I think 99% of us can agree doesn't work for anyone right now. The 8-hour workday was created as a way for us to schedule our time, and on paper, it doesn't sound so bad. 8 hours to provide for you and your family, 8 hours to do whatever you want, and then 8 hours to sleep. But as you know, it's not that simple. What about commutes? I was lucky. I only live literally 5 minutes away from my school. But others weren't so lucky. They had to get up at 5 a.m. to get ready for school that started 2 hours later because of traffic and because they lived further away. And this extra time that you're awake isn't productive in the morning. You're getting ready for school, which is just getting ready. You're losing an hour of your sleep, which destroys your mental health and everything else in your life. But there's good news because you still have 8 hours from 3 to 11 when you have whatever you want to do. But you need to be in bed for 9 hours if you want to get 8 hours of sleep. So really, you have to go and close your eyes at 11. So 3 to 11 is our time frame. Not bad, right? Well, homework. Even adults aren't expected to work when they're not on the job, but us teenagers are. Why? And I know plenty of kids who are spending 2 to 5, 6 hours studying or doing homework. There goes a huge chunk of your night. And to be completely honest, us humans can only focus for a certain amount of time before we're like, I cannot imagine being in another period or doing anything as soon as I get home. So we don't do anything as soon as we get home. And we are just watching YouTube, TikTok, anything that's just like, I can just sit here and do nothing. And there goes another hour, 2 hours, maybe more. Video games, 3 hours, gone. So where did those 8 hours go? Into calming your mind down from your hard day at school and doing studying and homework. And most kids have a job to kickstart their future savings. And some of them need to provide for their families. And that's great. But how do you balance studying, homework, doing a job, doing what you love? How does it not ruin your mental health? Because you cannot balance it all. If you have a job after school that instantly cuts down your time to 0 hours of free time, assuming you want to go to sleep on time. But you have the weekends off. Wow, 2 days out of 7? Plus, our weekends are spent recovering from our hard week at school or studying for a test we have on Monday. There really is no free time because we can only be productive and do things that we really love with a happy mind if we've relaxed and we've decompressed. And we need our time at the end of the day after school and our weekends to decompress. It's like a never-ending cycle. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's outside of school and how we have no free time. But inside of school, I think, is worse. December 2022, last year, our school gets 2 weeks off for winter break. And I had a great winter break. I was happy. I was being productive. I was working out every day. Everything was going great until I came back to school. And I had the biggest realization I think I've ever had in my whole life. It was the first day back from school. I was in English class, 6th period. And I looked around me. And all I saw was a bunch of heads looking at a phone screen with literal sleep bags under their eyes. And the teacher, the same thing, on his computer. No one talking to each other. Not to shit on those kids because I was on my phone 5 seconds ago before I looked up. I realized that school isn't really school anymore. It's a kind of a babysitting. Our teacher would give us an assignment, quite literally, find the noun in this sentence. Stuff I could have done when I was literally in 1st grade. I was doing in 11th grade. And when it was done, it was free time because the teacher has to grade his work. And the teacher's like, oh, I have these kids for another 45 minutes. I don't want to deal with them. Just let them be. And there you go. 45 minutes where everyone is just deciding to, including myself. And then I remembered something even crazier. Last period, 5th period, it was the exact same thing. But to make matters worse, our assignment was not due at the end of the period. It was due at the end of the week, which means everyone was just going to be on their phones because we're addicted to technology, and that's what we all wanted to do. And her teacher herself was kind of just on her own, grading papers, writing emails. I realized I was being babysat. I wasn't learning anything. Next period is 3rd period, ACE Classical Studies. It's about Roman gods, Greek gods, Alexander the Great, those kind of people. And it is interesting, but same thing. You do an assignment, you can just do whatever you want for the rest of the class, and everyone is choosing to just scroll on TikTok. If I wanted to learn about Alexander the Great, I could damn well do that at my house on YouTube in an hour. And I was interested in those ancient figures, which is kind of cool. But I felt like school ruined it because everything that I was interested in, I could no longer enjoy because I had to take a test on it at the end of the week and prepare for a quiz and do a homework assignment every single night. The genuine interest I had of learning about these people turned into actual resentment for these people that lived thousands of years ago. They didn't have school, just saying. Tell me if you can relate. You picked a class because you thought it was interesting, and it was, but because of all the workload from your other classes, you had to start cheating on your homework assignments and cheating on tests and not putting in the actual effort to care about this class because school gave you so much work and you started to actually not even enjoy going to that class. While your parents work for 8 hours of the day, we sit at desks for 8 hours of the day to prepare us for real jobs where we'll sit at a desk for 8 hours of the day. Not a fun realization to make when you're so young and you feel like you can do anything in the world and your mom is telling you that's just the way life is. teachers don't even really teach anymore. There is the occasional gem who's actually passionate about what they teach, but they are in the minority. The rest just give printed out busy work where he gives us the assignment, he fucks off to his computer to do whatever, we do our assignment, and then we fuck off to our phones because it is so much easier when you're so sleep deprived and tired to just scroll on Instagram than to talk to the people that are next to you. School, 90% of it, I think, is an absolute waste of time. And this statement does not come without controversy, but that is my opinion. School is an absolute waste of time. You know, you'll use algebra and geometry in your day-to-day life, but tell me, when will I use an imaginary number in my day-to-day life? Never. So why do I have to learn about it? I don't want to be a mathematician. I get it's good for my brain, but there are other things I can do that are good for my brain that I actually care about doing. When am I going to need to know about advanced cellular mitosis? When am I going to need to know about chemistry? If I wanted to be a chemist, sure, goddammit, teach me, but I don't. I just mentioned cellular mitosis, and you want to hear the saddest thing? When I was in 7th grade and I first learned about it, that shit was cool as hell. That blew my mind that was happening in every single one of the cells in our bodies. But of course, like I said, it gets ruined, and now the last thing I ever want to talk about or learn about is cellular mitosis. They say that if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Those in the music industry probably will tell you don't enter it because it'll become a job and you're not going to like it anymore. School will take what you like, what you're interested in, and make you never want to learn about it ever again. Don't let it happen. Yes, it is important to learn about what a noun is, what an adjective is. If I'm driving 20 miles an hour, how long will it take me to drive 100 miles? But that is stuff I've been doing since I was 11 years old. I'm 17 now. Why am I still learning about stuff that I will never use again? When I had this realization, I refused to let myself spend more time wasting time that was killing my creativity, that was making me feel insecure about myself, depressed, anxious, all these negative things. And it's wrong to blame school entirely, but I am sure it is a very large portion of the mental health problems that all of us teenagers are facing nowadays. Once I realized what modern schooling is, I was upset. I cried to my mom, and she sympathized with me. And she told me that she had the same feelings when she was in school, but honey, that's just life. But the cool thing is, there is hope because it doesn't have to be just life anymore. Enter online school / homeschooling. The first half of this video was to remind you that you do in fact hate school. The second half of this video is to convince you that you can get out and that online school and homeschooling is a very viable option. And not only is it viable, but it is the best of the best option for a young person like you right now. Now, a lot of thoughts just popped in your brain, but I'm going to dismantle every single one of them, starting with, but I'm just going to become a lonely weirdo. School does do one thing, to give some credit. It places thousands of kids around you who are around your age. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool until you remember that most teachers won't even let you talk in class. Until you remember that it's very hard to actually talk to people because everyone's on their phones. Pretty cool because you just can talk to your friend on the way to class, but then you remember you only have 7 minutes to get to class. And what if you guys are going in opposite directions? Well, you still want to talk to your friends, so you talk to them, but then you get yelled at for being tardied by an adult bully teacher. Okay, what about lunch? You got 30 minutes to talk to your friends. It's never enough. Never enough time to eat your meal peacefully, relax, talk to your friends, catch up on anything. And if you buy lunch at school, first of all, stop, because it's probably very bad for you. Second of all, that line is like 15 minutes. There is not enough time in 30 minutes. And the lunch break is only given so adults can have a lunch break. They didn't give a shit about us kids. I want to ask you a question. Are your school friends your actual friends? I mean, surely they are. I mean, you dap them up. If you're a girl, maybe you give them a kiss on the cheek. You're giving people hugs. Are you going to be talking to them 1 year, 3 years, 5 years down the line? You guys went off to separate colleges and your acquaintanceship of dapping each other up in the hallway wasn't enough to sustain your friendship. Well, you might think if you start doing online schools that you're going to become a lonely, socially awkward weirdo, but I think the actual opposite of this will happen. I've told myself in the last year a very simple truth. If I don't hang out with someone outside of school, they're not my real friend. Sure, I can talk to people in school and I can dap people up, but I've never wanted just that. I've wanted true, deep, meaningful connections that I truly will never, ever lose. I want the kind of friends where it can be 10 years from now and I have a wife and a bunch of new little kids and my friends have these kids and our kids are going to play together and we're going to have a nice meal next to the fire pit outside and it's a nice, cool, chilly night. And I met that kid today. And we'll talk about all the dumb shit we did when we were young and still do. I want you to grasp something. School isn't special. Yes, school places you around people, but then why are people still lonely in school? Why are there still socially awkward people in school? If school was special in the fact that it made everyone not socially awkward and lonely, we wouldn't have socially awkward and lonely people. To be social and have friends in school, you need to want to be social in the first place. I'd argue that you're actually going to be more social if you homeschool because you're not going to be around 5,000 people every day. So when you do see that one person, hell yeah, you're going to ask them how they're doing because you haven't even seen anyone. Like, yeah, I want to go out and socialize. I haven't seen anyone, but when you're in school and you're around 5,000 different people, no, probably going to want to be more alone, if anything. Every single place you go that has other people in it has the potential to create a friendship that will last to the rest of your life. School isn't special in this way. Let's say the extra time you have from not being in school, you start to do martial arts. Boom, there's 30 people you can talk to and become friends with. Now, every young person will be in school, but if you still do classes on the weekend, you'll still talk to those young people and it's like, it works out. Maybe you'll spend more time at the gym, more people to get to know. Maybe you'll get a job and there's coworkers for you to meet. Homeschooling will not make you antisocial. It will make you more social because you have not seen the amount of people you would see in school, so you want to go out and talk to people and meet people. After school, you're gonna wanna be alone, actually, because you've been around 3,000 different people. Your social battery's out. No, I don't wanna hang out with anyone. I need time to be alone. But the other way around is true. You've been kind of alone all day, so when you're actually out and about, hell yeah, I wanna go talk to people. You see what I'm getting at? Argument 2 against homeschooling is that it looks bad on colleges, but this one can be debunked with a simple Google search. Actually look it up and you'll see that homeschooling and online schooling don't have any effect. And actually some colleges look for those kind of students because they want a more diverse background when they select candidates. But if you watch this far in the video and you watch my videos, there's a big chance that you're not just like any kind of person. Yeah, you need to go to college and get a job to get by, but you want to be an artist. You want to be a musician, not doing something that doesn't fulfill you. You want to be an entrepreneurship or a businessman, not doing a 9-to-5. Part of the reason I'm doing online school next year is because I have a passion and love for creating music. Now, my parents don't really believe in my music dream, but I do, and this is a big step I'm taking to actually have more time and free time to actualize these dreams. 40 hours a week of school plus, let's say, 10 hours of homework is all out of the window, disappears into thin air within 5 years. But if you spend just 7 hours a week working on your passion, you won't believe where you'll be in just 1 year. Your skills build on themselves, and every year you get actually exponentially better than the year you were before. And take that big number I just said, 50 hours, and you'll realize that you will now have more time than you'll ever need to start working on something and building something, even if it's making money. More time at peace, more time when you don't have to worry about getting bullied, or the constant battle of looking good for kids that you don't even care about, or the evil standardized test. More time to actually be free. Freer than you've ever been in as long as you can remember. Online school gives you this freedom, and now, of course, it is up to you. It is up to you to use that free time in a good way, but are you more likely to be productive on 5 hours of sleep or 9 hours of sleep? Are you going to be productive when you're constantly in this cold fluorescent lit room where your mind thinks you're being judged by all these people who you don't even like, or when you're at home, comfortable with your parents, with so much freedom in your brain to do whatever it is you want? I need you to grasp another thing before this video ends. You will never have these 50 hours in your life again. Your online schoolwork might realistically take you 5 hours in a week, which is 10 times less time than it would take for you to go and do school in person. That is absolutely realistic. You have free time in college, yes, but after that it's 9-to-5 time, baby, and you will never have the potential to have these 50 hours in your life again, so you need to tell your parents how you feel right now. You've been wanting to start that business or that YouTube channel or start making music for so long now, but you haven't because you've always thought that this was just a part of your life, but it doesn't have to be. School in person, as we know it today, does not have to be the way you live your life. It's amazing. Imagine what you could do, right? I know you believe your parents won't let you, but how the hell do you know if you don't try? Try and then try again until they budge. And eventually, they did. In a little under a month, 200,000 kids near me are gonna wake up at 7 to go to school. I won't be. And I truly believe this has been the best decision I will ever make, and it might be the best decision you ever make, because now you have the time, and it is time to start working towards your dreams. And to be successful in your craft or your field is a competition. So tell me who is gonna win. You, who has 9 hours in bed, good mental health, good free time, happy-go-lucky, or you that is in school stressed about an upcoming exam, sleep deprived, anxious, and depressed? I think you already know the answer. So now do some research into your area's homeschooling or online school laws. Talk to your parents, convince them. Explain how you felt for years, but you might have thought it was never realistic and just something you had to deal with. After all, I only have 1 year of high school left, so why the hell, Reese, why are you not going to go to prom? Aren't you going to care about homecoming and stuff? My mental health is more important. As I was writing this script, I felt bad for those kids whose parents aren't going to let them do online school because it's taboo, because it's weird and kind of dangerous for you to do what every other kid is not doing. If this is you, don't worry too much, because I'm going to release a video soon on how to be as productive as possible in school to get some of the benefits of doing online school. But at least try, because homeschool and online school will be absolutely better, even though there is this barrier of tension and friction to actually doing it. I've given you the knowledge. I've reminded you what you've known for a long time. You're almost an adult. You don't need to be babysat. You can choose what you want to learn and what you don't want to learn, or at least you should be able to. You don't want to make mutual friends who you'll never see again in a few years. You know what you want. It's time for you to take some action and try to actually go get it. It's time to consider, really consider, homeschooling/online schooling. Speaking of online school, I want to talk to you about Reese's School, this online community and school that I am opening up. I have a Discord server and it has around 10,000 members, and this growth was shocking to me. I never expected anything like it. I used it when it was new and it was really cool connecting with people that were like-minded like me. We would do little calls and everything, but it started getting really big and it was impossible to be close to pretty much anyone. There is value in that community if you join it, but a lot of people have told me that it's kind of just become another form of social media. And of course, the reason 10,000 people joined it was because they wanted to get off social media. Now I just have a few mods who I just hope the server goes well, but I don't spend any time in it. The reason I started the server in the first place was to connect with like-minded people, which I still can do, but I think it would be much better if I start a more close, tight-knit community, which is why I'm starting my school, which is still unnamed, but the first 10 people that are joining will get the option to name it. It's a private, paid community where everyone is just like you, with their beliefs, with their mindsets, with we don't want to do school anymore because we are destined for something greater. I plan to be active in there for hours of the day, getting to know everyone and being close to everyone, even having in-person meetups, events multiple times a week, coaching calls, which I'm charging $200 an hour for free in there. Technically, it's not for free because you have to pay a monthly membership, but you know what I mean. I plan to hire professionals in certain areas of life to guide you through whatever it is you want to learn, and I truly believe it's going to be absolutely worth it, and I really can't wait to meet everyone that's going to join. Don't forget about friendships. You're going to actually be close to the people that are in there because I'm going to limit it to 100 people, and I'm going to get to know absolutely everyone, and you will get a chance to connect with me and talk to me for hours of the day. Have this community of people who are going to hold you accountable, will get you on the path to actually getting shit done, to see real progress towards your goals, and to wake up one day and realize, hey, I'm actually doing it. I usually close my videos with telling you to go buy my coaching calls, but I'm not selling them anymore. At least not for a reasonable price, and I don't expect anyone to buy them. All of the calls I'm going to be doing are now going to be inside the school, and I hope to see you there and meet you there. And by all means, if you don't want to, absolutely fine. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Consider homeschooling. Talk to your parents.